Hi, you guys. The 7-week trial in 2022 of super famous actor Johnny Depp and famous actress Amber Heard was one of the most important trials in history. I recommend that everyone view this trial, the fullness of which is found on YouTube, but with the caveat that only adults view it, and adults who cannot handle coarse language and gross, explicit details avoid it. That being said, this trial is greatly significant. First, what others take from this trial. The vast majority of people were on Johnny Depp's side. Most of them took this as a great victory for men against the radical Me Too movement, where everyone is expected to believe all women no matter what, and a great victory against radical feminism, which paints all men as oppressors and all women as victims, despite evidence to the contrary. There are also a small number of Amber Heard supporters. Most of them took the trial's outcome as a big defeat for victims of domestic abuse and a failure of society by giving in to misogyny. And both sides feel that this trial's outcome will shape the power dynamic between men and women. I do not see it these ways. Although Johnny Depp is my #1 favorite actor, and I have an intense dislike of women because they have treated me like garbage all my life, I only see this as an extremely rich and famous person clobbering someone far less wealthy and known. Johnny Depp is certainly not the average man. Neither was former football star O.J. Simpson, who got away with 2 murders because of being rich and famous. He had to pay an enormous fine, but even after the fine, his net worth still far exceeded the average man's. What I am happy with is that this trial has helped shatter the image of celebrities of being better or better off than common people. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard airing their dirty laundry and baggage, which is apparently worse than the average person, will hopefully end, or at least help end, celebrity worship and idolizing celebrities. It should also help people who have personal problems know that they are certainly not alone. And it helps me feel better about being single. And I agreed with many comments on the video threads, which overwhelmingly favored Johnny Depp. However, others were over the top, samples of which I shall address. Here goes. You can tell he has never been able to defend himself by the way he is trembling while he speaks. Ridiculous nonsense. Even if that were true, for a grown man, that would be a serious character defect. Such a man would be a coward. I feel so bad for Johnny. You can clearly tell he has social anxiety and he's shy. Again, ridiculous nonsense. He has been and continues to be a decades-long world-famous performer who purposefully shows himself for the entire world to see. That's both with the camera and in person. This man is a real pearl for humankind. His life is an epic masterpiece. Again, ridiculous nonsense. His acting career may be an epic masterpiece, but in real life he is a raging alcoholic and drug addict. That is certainly nothing to be inspired by, let alone emulate. When Johnny said, "I'm obsessed with the truth," that shot me right in the heart because I know exactly what he means. But that is just substituting emotions for logic. Anybody can say they stand for truth, which means nothing. Instead, truth tellers are known by consistently doing what they said they were going to do, their statements always being consistent with one another, and their statements being in line with proven facts. I'm absolutely hypnotized by this wonderful man. Therein lies the problem. Instead of using your brain, you are hypnotized. God bless you, Johnny. May God help him receive justice. Praying hands emoji. This is ignorant since Johnny Depp is not only non-religious, he also does not believe in God. Neither does he believe in life after death, and therefore does not believe in any accountability after death. Although Mr. Depp may call himself agnostic, a pedestrian, or whatever, and not an atheist like Amber Heard, they are identical in that both have zero faith. As for trying to compare body language, facial expression, and tones of voice, in this case, it is almost meaningless. That's because, unlike Mr. Depp, Ms. Heard was the defendant, not the plaintiff, a woman, not a man, is 23 years younger, and has an unusual mental condition. It's like comparing apples to grapes. Besides, most people who think they understand body language, in fact, do not. Then there's the fact that they're both professional actors and both may have been on various substances during the trial. Certainly Amber Heard was abusive and manipulative, but so was Mr. Depp. Even if we assume that Johnny never physically struck or hurt Amber in any way, we regardless know he was violent. His destroying cabinets, furniture, light fixtures, etc. is his own fault. So are his angry outbursts of shouting and yelling expletives. Adults are responsible for their own actions. Yes, Amber did beat upon Johnny, but she never attacked him with a weapon, and we must not think that she ordinarily had the ability to defeat him in a fight. It was a bigger man against a smaller woman who was never an amateur fighter, let alone professional, and never held any black belt. If there were cases where she could beat him in a fight, they were due to his being so drunk and drugged up that he had no control over his body or brain. And that, if that was so, that would be his own doing and his own fault. And although Amber Heard seems to have been the chief abuser, she has a documented mental condition of a serious nature, which is not her fault, while Johnny does not, as far as we know. And Johnny is considerably older, so we should expect better conduct and maturity due to that. Also consider Johnny Depp's horrifically violent and vulgar text messages. Although people dream up rational reasons for such language, the Lord Jesus Christ sees it this way. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Matthew 12:36. So such words expose what is really in Johnny's heart. Pardon my flickering camera. I'm going to get a new camera after this video. So please bear with it. The next videos, my camera will be a nice one. Okay, here goes again. The trial's outcome was Mr. Depp winning an incredible amount of money from Ms. Heard, which was predicated upon the idea that she destroyed his reputation and his ability to make money. But the overwhelming support of Johnny and overwhelming condemnation of Amber should have disproven that idea. So his winning only a fraction of that money, or no money at all, just a verdict in his favor, would be a lot more appropriate. Consider that even before the verdict, his net worth exceeded that of over 300 average men combined. So again, I don't see this as man versus woman. I see it as a rich and famous person against one with less status. So if it be argued that it was right for Mr. Depp to win all that money and he scored a victory for men, then he should be a hero and give it all away to poor men who have suffered at the hands of women via alimony and child support payments. But he will not. Or at least use some of the money to check into a substance abuse ward for at least 6 months, which he sorely needs. He won't do that either, though. And since Johnny Depp is rich and famous, and Amber Heard more so than most women, I would expect them to be less troubled. But if the revelations of this trial are a typical pattern, then they'd be more trouble than the average person. So, what are they missing? They both need Jesus.